Welcome. This video is about the Share with Wildlife program at New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. We're going to cover information on the program's goals, why the projects it funds are important to New Mexico's wildlife, examples of wildlife-focused projects that the program has funded recently, and how the Share with Wildlife program itself is funded. Share with Wildlife was created in the early 1980s. Its primary goal was to provide support for species that are often less known and not supported through other sources of funding. This is especially important in a state like New Mexico, which houses thousands of species, many of them that are in need of further study. Share with Wildlife seeks to support our state's lesser-known species by funding 4 different types of wildlife-focused projects: research, education, rehabilitation, and habitat enhancement. The projects that Share with Wildlife funds are very important for our state's wildlife. The research projects help to collect information that our biologists need to better conserve and manage some of the rarer and less studied species in our state. The education projects enhance the environmental science education being received by hundreds of K-12 students in New Mexico. This includes teaching students how to observe and collect data on wildlife and their habitats. Students also learn about jobs that they could have when they grow up that involve caring for our nation's natural resources. Permitted wildlife rehabilitation centers, supported in part through funds from Share with Wildlife, provide important services for sick and injured wildlife. They also provide education to thousands of New Mexicans related to the importance of wildlife and wildlife habitat in our state. Most importantly, they share actions that we can all take to improve conditions for wildlife and improve how we interact with the wildlife in our neighborhoods. One research project that Share with Wildlife supported for 3 years focused on a turtle called the Western River Cooter. Before this project began, very little was known about this species. This included where it is found and how many cooters live in New Mexico. This project was very exciting because the researchers, who were from Eastern New Mexico University, found the turtle in a new place in southeastern New Mexico. Dr. Ivana Mali and her team also found many baby cooters, which haven't been found at sites where this species has been studied in Texas. Dr. Mali collaborated with the Desert Willow Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, located in Carlsbad, New Mexico, to take x-rays of many turtles. This helped her and her team get information on how many female turtles had eggs. This also tells us about when turtles reproduce. The New Mexico Wildlife Center is a rehabilitation facility located in Espanola in northern New Mexico. This center has a permit to do rehabilitation work that is issued by New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. It has received funding from Share with Wildlife for many years. This center provides wildlife rehabilitation services for wildlife all around New Mexico, with many patients coming from Taos, Santa Fe, Los Alamos, and Rio Arriba counties. The center typically cares for 600 to 800 wildlife patients annually. Center staff also answer hundreds of calls related to wildlife. The New Mexico Wildlife Center also provides many education programs. They previously had a river classroom program that focused on river ecology and water quality monitoring. They are currently developing a new Pollinator Gardens program. This new program will focus on working with students to develop pollinator-friendly native plant gardens on school grounds. The center also offers summer camps and programs that use live education ambassadors. These ambassadors are animals that were injured and cannot be released back to the wild. These ambassadors are part of presentations at the center, schools, events, and many other venues. Share with Wildlife is funded through donations made by members of the public. All donated funds directly support projects. We receive donations through many different means. These include the purchase of one of 3 different Share with Wildlife license plates, donation of a portion of a state tax refund through New Mexico's state tax checkoff program, and donations made through New Mexico Department of Game and Fish's online licensing system. The Share with Wildlife license plates have some of our better-known species featured on them. These species include the mule deer and the Rio Grande cutthroat trout. We are currently working on a new plate that will feature a picture of our state bird, the roadrunner. Thank you so much for your time. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Share with Wildlife Program Coordinator at New Mexico Department of Game and Fish for more information.